Green Hill Cemetery is not just a tranquil final resting place for the citizens of Bedford, Indiana. Many of the gravestones and monuments located here are exquisite pieces of art. A lot of the carvings, statues, sculptures, and engravings are the work of the limestone artisans and stone carvers that have lived in the Bedford area. This has made Green Hill Cemetery a popular destination for tombstone tourists. Scattered throughout Green Hill Cemetery are wonderful pieces of folk art. In addition to the large monuments and life-size carvings of individuals, there are several intricately carved tree stump gravestones and many other wonderful pieces of art. To help visitors to Green Hill Cemetery become better tombstone tourists, the cemetery has a self-guided walking tour to help locate the gravestones of prominent Lawrence County residents. This can be accessed via smartphones. To understand why Green Hill Cemetery became such a unique open-air museum of tombstones, it's worth exploring how Bedford became the limestone capital of the world. The original Lawrence County seat was not in Bedford, it was in Palestine, a town overlooking White River, built in 1818. A malaria outbreak in Palestine forced county officials to create a new county seat away from the river. The town of Bedford was established in 1825, 4 miles to the north. A cemetery board for the new town chose a spot to bury their dead. The name Green Hill was suggested by a board member's daughter. The first burial in Green Hill Cemetery is believed to have taken place in 1826. It was shortly after that, in 1827, that the Indiana limestone belt would be discovered. This is a narrow band of sedimentary stone that runs north from Bedford through Monroe County up into Owen County. Commonly known as Salem or Bedford limestone, this tract of stone is only 10 miles wide and 30 miles long. The massive stone formation is believed to be more than 300 million years old, and its thickness varies from 25 feet to 60 feet. Stone quarries began opening throughout the area, and the stone industry was formed. In 1830, the Blue Hole Quarry was opened on the eastern edge of Bedford. After the railroad came to the area in the 1850s, the heavy blocks of Indiana limestone could more readily be hauled across the country, and use of this sustainable building material began to expand beyond the stone belt. Demand for Indiana limestone skyrocketed after extensive fires happened in Chicago in 1871 and Boston in 1872. In those fires, structures built with limestone sustained the least amount of damage. It was then that stone artisans and master carvers began to immigrate to the Bedford area from Ireland, Scotland, France, Germany, and Italy to work in local quarries and mills. These carvers and mill workers would travel on the trains with large chunks of limestone cut from the quarries to carve at sites around the country. By 1900, Indiana limestone made up 1/3 of the total U.S. dimension limestone industry. By 1920, it had increased to 80%. Indiana limestone was used to build the Empire State Building, the Pentagon, the Biltmore Estate, and the National Cathedral. The Indiana Capitol Building, built in 1888, is one of 35 state capitol buildings in the United States that are made of Indiana limestone. Bedford became known as the limestone capital of the world, and the stone carvers who lived and worked here helped build some of the country's greatest buildings. There are many stone carvers buried in Green Hill Cemetery. Some of their modest tombstones are located near the Stonecutters Monument that was erected in 1894 by the Bedford Stonecutters Association. This monument shows a stonecutter from the late 19th century holding a mallet in his hand. Nearby is the tombstone of Lewis Baker, a 23-year-old Bedford stone carver who was struck and killed by lightning. His co-workers carved a stone showing what his workbench looked like the day he died. The stone shows an unfinished cornice that Baker was carving, along with his carving tools and apron. Preserved in the unique and exquisitely carved tombstones and monuments in Green Hill Cemetery, there is a treasure trove of the history and lore of the limestone industry and the individual stone-cutting craftsmen and artists who made Bedford the limestone capital of the world. This popular Tombstone tourist attraction is located at 1202 18th Street in Bedford. Donations can be made to the Green Hill Cemetery Association, P.O. Box 1442, Bedford, Indiana 47421.